toxics plotted by powerful figures who promise prosperity publicly while privately profit from keeping the pressure alive. Kids in the corridors carrying questions about why the system designed to provide them a future keep closing the doors while the wealthy keep climbing the ladders they hide. Meanwhile, the elders on benches reciting the wisdom of decades, surviving the violence and silence that follow the struggle of people the headline ignore in disguise. So every sentence I scribble describing the distance between revolution and patience that's flickering deep in the hearts of the youth who refuse to comply. Voices in the city, yeah. Truth through the rhythm of rain. Every soul in the struggle, still dancing with pressure and pain. Observe how the system constructing the prison to profit, where labor is traded for pennies while power keep moving the pieces like masters controlling the board of a game. Children inheriting trauma and triumph for intellect blossoms in alleyway sharper than scholars who studied the language of empire yet never experienced the pain. Teachers repeating the promise of progress while streets teach survival and dialect coded with warnings describing the cost of ambition in cities addicted to fame. Still through the chaos, a poet emerges, converting the pressure of history into a prophecy written in rhythm, refusing to silence the flame. Voices in the city, yeah. Truth through the rhythm of rain. Every syllable written, a weapon of knowledge, exposing the architecture built to divide us and hide us from truths that the powerful desperately try to contain. But somewhere inside of the chaos, awareness awakening minds that refuse to surrender their freedom of spirit to cycles of silence and permanent pain. Street scripture. Survival. I study the city like scripture, encrypted and flickering neon reflections with lessons are etching the pressure of poverty. Politics twisting the fate of the youth in the night. Kids in the corridor dreaming of empires, dodging the gravity, pulling them down with through cycles of violence and sirens that echo through buildings where hope rarely fight. Politicians designing a language of power that pacifies millions with promises, polish and politicking while the truth on the pavement is louder than headlines ain't right. Oh, prophets on stools with tobacco and wisdom describing the patterns of decades of struggle with dignity, battles the hunger for bread and the right. So everybody that cough is a document written and written, describing the tension between revolution and patience that flickers inside of the mind of the fight. Voices in the city, truth in the rain. Every mind in the struggle, still dancing with pressure. Observe how the system constructing a prison of profit where billions are trapped in a maze of consumption and labor while power keeps moving the pieces like chess. Children inheriting stories of trauma and triumph where intellect blossoms in alleyways sharper than scholars who studied in marble and dressed in success. Teachers repeating the promise of progress while streets teach survival and dialect coded with warnings that echo through corners where warriors rest. Through the smoke of the conflict, the mind of a poet emerges, describing the blueprint of futures where justice and dignity finally bless. Voices in the city, truth and more rain. Every mind in the struggle, still dancing with pressure on free. So every syllable written a weapon of knowledge, exposing the architecture built to divide us and hide us from truths that the powerful desperately strain to contain. But somewhere inside of the chaos, a spark of awareness awakening minds that refuse to surrender their freedom of spirit to cycles of silence and pain. Street scriptures, written in rhyme, written in rhyme, written in rhyme. Street knowledge, street knowledge, written in brick and broken dreams. Watch the city like a scholar decoding the logic of poverty. Politics plotted in offices far from the blocks where the sirens are screaming at night. Kids in the corridors learning survival before they learn science, absorbing the violence of cycles designed so the powerful always stay right. Meanwhile, the anchors on television sell illusions of freedom and fortune, while billions of people still fighting invisible wars out of sight. And every preacher on corner repeating the wisdom of elders who witness the system dividing the hungry from those with the might. So I scribble these verses like scripture, describing the tension between revolution and patience that lives in the mind of the fight. I felt forces in the concrete air, truth in the rhythm of pain. Every soul in the struggle, still dancing with hope in the rain. I see intelligence blossom in places the textbooks ignore, where the poets and hustlers together invented survival and coded their dreams in a slang. While senators talking statistics and profits in chambers of marble, ignoring the neighborhood, drowning in silence and sirens and sorrow and pain. Young minds balancing future Futures on edges of choices where desperation with seduction through promises, power and money can bring. But wisdom is born when the pressure reveals that the soul of a leader is measured by what he refuses to trade for rain. Voices in the concrete, truth in the rhythm of pain. Every soul in the struggle, still in the rhythm with pain. So every sentence I craft is a map of the madness that capitalism planted in soil where the children inherit the weight of the chain. But somewhere inside of the rhythm a spark of defiance reminds us the mind of a poet can never be conquered by pain. Concrete philosophy, written in rhyme.
Street knowledge in every brick.
I read the city like scripture written in flickering street like religion. Decisions made in the friction of living where hope and survival collide. Politicians preaching predictions from towers of privilege while kids in the distance still hustling visions of futures the system denied. Concrete philosophers talking in codes on the stools where the wisdom is older than headlines they printing to keep the truth quiet inside. Every siren a sermon reminding the people the cost of existence when power and poverty constantly fighting outside. Every sentence with tension and lessons extracted from blocks where the pressure can turn a young prophet to pride.
Voices in the avenue wind, stories in the cracks of the stone. Every dream that begins, still trying to carve its throne. Voices in the avenue wind, stories in the cracks of the stone. Every dream that begins, still trying to carve his throne.
Watch how the system construct an illusion of freedom while feeding the cycle of prisons that profit from pain and disguise. Kids in the classroom absorbing the myths of the victors while street teach a language of hustle and coded replies. Truth in the rhythm of footsteps that echo through hallways of housing where broken ambition and brilliance arise. Then from the ashes of struggle, a spark of defiance that rises inside of the poet that refuses to die.
Voices in the avenue wind, stories in the cracks of the stone. Every dream that begins, still trying to carve its throne. Voices in the avenue wind, stories in the cracks of the stone.
So I carve every bar like a scholar of hardship, describing the patterns of power that history tries to revise. Cause every verse from the pavement, a blueprint of survival, recorded in rhymes of the moment the silence defies. Urban oracle, speaking through rhythm. street scriptures written on the pavement. Streetlights flicker like thoughts in a restless brain. City breathing slow through the midnight rain. Young minds racing through a maze of survival. Every corner another page of the urban Bible. Old men on the stoop speak of wisdom and codes about dreams that collapse under pressure and roads. Kids chasing tomorrow through the smoke in the air, while the truth of the struggle hanging heavy out there. I study the skyline like a prophet of pain, trying to translate thunder from the rhythm of rain. Pages from the pavement, stories in the stone. Every soul in the city trying to build a throne from the dust of the struggle to the light unknown. Every king in the gutter still carving his own. Politics on the news, but the truth on the block, where survival got a rhythm like a ticking clock. Every lesson learned faster when the hunger involved, and the system right, riddles few ever saw. I seen brilliance in the eyes of a kid with no guide, seen a poet in the heart of a soldier who died. Seen the city turn pain into verses and art, where the blues of the street beat inside every heart. Pages from the pavement, stories in the stone. Every soul in the city trying to build a throne. Maybe one day the word's gonna open the gate for the mind still trapped in the hands of fate. Till then I'm writing scripture through rhythm and rhyme, turning pressure and struggle into language of time. Every street got a chapter. Every soul got a verse. Every block got memories. Every mind got a story. I walk through the city observing the patterns of poverty plotted by powerful figures who promise prosperity publicly, privately profit from keeping the pressure alive. Kids in the corridors carrying questions about why the system designed to provide them a future, keep closing the doors while the wealthy keep climbing the ladders they hide. Meanwhile the elders on benches reciting the wisdom of decades, surviving the violence and silence that follow the struggle of people the headlines ignore and disguise. So every sentence I scribble describing the distance between revolution and patience that's flickering deep in the hearts of the youth who refuse to comply. In the city air, truth through the rhythm of rain. Every soul in the struggle, still dancing with pressure and pain. Observe how
the system constructing a prison of profit where labor is traded for pennies, while power keep moving to pieces like masters controlling the board of a game. Children inheriting trauma and triumph, but intellect blossoms in alleyways sharper than scholars who studied the language of empire, never experienced the pain. Teachers repeating the promise of progress while streets teach survival and dialect coded with warnings describing the cost of ambition in cities addicted to fame. Still through the chaos, a poet emerges, converting the pressure of history into a prophecy written in rhythm, refusing to silence the flame.
Voices in the city air,
True through the rhythm of a rain.
every soul in the struggle,
Still dancing with pressure and pain. So every syllable written a weapon of knowledge, exposing the architecture built to divide us and hide us from truths that the powerful desperately trying to contain. But somewhere inside of the chaos, awareness awakening minds that refuse to surrender their freedom of spirit to cycles of silence and permanent pain. Street scripture. Written by survival. Every brick got a memory, every mind got a prophecy. I study the city like scripture encrypted in flickering neon reflections where lessons are etched in the pressure of poverty. Politics twisting the fate of the youth in the night. Kids in the corridor dreaming of empires while dodging the gravity, pulling them downward through cycles of violence and sirens that echo through buildings where hope rarely fight. Politicians designing a language of power that pacifies millions with promises polished and polished again, while the truth on the pavement is louder than headlines that write. Old prophets on stools with tobacco and wisdom describing the patterns of decades of struggle where dignity battles the hunger for bread and the rise. So every bar that I carve is a document written in rhythm, describing the tension between revolution and patience that flickers inside of the mind of the fight. The voices in the city wind, truth in the rhythm of rain. Every mind in the struggle, still dancing with pressure and pain. The system constructing a prison of profit where billions are trapped in a maze of consumption and labor, while power keeps moving to pieces like chess. Children inheriting stories of trauma and triumph where intellect blossoms in alleyways sharper than scholars who studied in marble and dressed in success. Teachers repeating the promise of progress while streets teach survival in dialect coded with warnings that echo through corners where warriors rest. Yet through the smoke of the conflict, the mind of a poet emerges, describing the blueprint of futures where justice and dignity finally bless. Voices in the city wind, truth in the rhythm of rain. So every syllable written, a weapon of knowledge, exposing the architecture built to divide us and hide us from truth that the powerful desperately strain to contain. But somewhere inside of the chaos, a spark of awareness, awakening minds that refuse to surrender their freedom of spirit to cycles of silence and pain. Street scriptures, written in rhyme.
Street and alley, written in brick and broken dreams and I watched the city like a scholar decoding the logic of poverty, plotted and novices, plotted and novices far from the blocks with the sirens are screaming at night. Kids in the corridors learning survival before they learn science, absorbing the violence of cycles designed so the powerful always stay right. Yeah, anchors on television selling the lose of freedom and fortune while billions of people still fighting invisible wars out of sight. And every preacher on corner repeating the wisdom of elders who witnessed the system dividing the hungry from those with the might. So I scribbled these verses to scripture describing the tension between revolution and patience that lives in the mind of the fight. Voices in the concrete air, yeah, truth in the rhythm of pain. Voices in the concrete air, truth in the rhythm of pain. Yeah, I've seen intelligence blossom in places the textbooks ignore, where the poets and hustlers together invented survival and coded the dreams in the slang. While senators talking statistics and prophets in chambers of marble, ignoring the neighborhoods drowning in silence and sirens and sorrow and pain. Yo, young minds balancing futures on edges of choices with desperation, whisper seduction through promises power and money can bring. But wisdom is born when the pressure reveals that the soul of a leader is measured by what he refuses to trade for a ring. Voices in the concrete air, yeah, truth in the rhythm of pain. Voices in the concrete air, truth in the rhythm of pain. So every sentence I craft is a map of the madness of capitalism, planted and sold where the children inherit the weight of the chain. But somewhere inside of the rhythm a spark that defines, reminds us the mind of a poet can never be conquered by pain. Concrete air, truth in the rhythm of pain. Concrete air, truth in the rhythm of pain. Yeah. Street knowledge in every brick. I read the city like scripture, written in flickering street like religion. Decisions made in the friction of living where hope and survival collide. Politicians
politicians preaching predictions from towers of privilege, while kids in the distance still hustling. Visions of futures the system denies. Concrete philosophers talking in code on the stoops where the wisdom is older than headlines they printing to keep the truth quiet inside. Every siren a sermon reminding the people the cost of existence when power and poverty constantly fighting outside. I paint every sentence with tension and lessons extracted from blocks where the pressure can turn a young prophet to pride. Voices in the avenue wind, stories in the cracks of the stone. Dream that begins, still trying to carve his throne. Voices in the avenue wind, stories in the cracks of the stone. Every dream that begins, still trying to carve his throne. Watch how the system construct an illusion of freedom while feeding a cycle of prisons that profit from pain in disguise. Kids in the classroom absorbing the myths of the victors while streets teach a language of hustle and coded replies. Truth in the rhythm of footsteps that echo through hallways of housing where broken ambition and brilliance arise. Yet from the ashes of struggle, a spark of defiance still rises inside of the poet that refuses to die. Voices in the avenue wind, stories in the cracks of the stone. So I carve every bar like a scholar of hardship, describing the patterns of power that history tries to revise. Cause every verse from the pavement, a blueprint of survival, recorded in rhymes of the moment the silence defies. Urban oracles, speaking through rhythm. Scriptures. Streetlights flicker like thoughts in a restless brain. City breathing slow through the midnight rain. Young minds racing through a maze of survival. Every corner another page of the urban Bible. Old men on the stoop speak wisdom and codes about dreams that collapsed under pressure and rose. Kids chasing tomorrow through the smoke in the air, while the truth of the struggle hanging heavy out there. I study the skyline like a prophet of pain, trying to translate thunder from the rhythm of rain. Pages from the pavement, stories in the stone. Every soul in the city, yeah, trying to build a throne. From the dust of the struggle to the light unknown. Every king in the gutter, still carving his own.
Politics on the news, but the truth on the block, where survival got a rhythm like a ticking clock. Every lesson learned faster when the hunger involved, and the system write riddles few ever saw. I seen brilliance in the eyes of a kid with no guide, seen a poet in the heart of a soldier who died, seen the city turn pain into verses and art, where the blues of the street beat inside every heart. Pages from the pavement, stories in the stone, every soul in the city, yeah, trying to build a throne. From the dust of the struggle to the light unknown, every king in the girdle still dropping his own. Maybe one day the word's gonna open the gate for the mind still trapped in the hands of fate. Till then I'm writing scripture through rhythm and rhyme, turning pressure and struggle in a language of time.